What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, Black Ronin, back on that again with another banger for y'alls out here today there, y'all. Welcome on back to the channel. It's been a long time there, y'all. Hey, I miss you guys, all my subscribers, and to anybody new to this channel, you might want to skip forward a few minutes because I do got to update my subscribers real quick. So, I'll be getting into the video topic a minute or two, so just skip forward if you don't want to hear me ramble about my update and personal life real quick. But guys, all my subscribers, I miss you guys. That's the first thing I want to say. And I'm happy to be back on the channel. Not consistently like I used to be, but I will be dropping videos, here and there as I go along. But as you guys remember from one of my videos in the past, situation with my roommate, I had to I got out of the situation, praise God. It didn't turn crazy. I ain't gonna lie, it came close to me knocking him upside the head. I really wanted to. And he was testing me in a lot of ways, but God definitely protected me, and because I really came close to, I came close to really catching the charge, like because I was legitly finna go bust him upside the head. I really was, and I know for a fact I would have won too. Yeah, he tall, but I know for a fact that motherfucker weak. Legs weak as hell. Diet is trash. Reflexes is shit. I already know for a fact I would have won, no problem. But thank you, Lord, I was able to control myself and everything, self-control. Because if not, I probably wouldn't even be making this video right now. Telling where I'd be at. But I got out of that situation, guys. That was the main thing, just trying to get out of that toxic, roommate situation. I'm back with family just for a little bit, get myself all reestablished. But I'm keeping on going. I'm keeping on pushing. I'm getting stronger and more fit than ever. And I feel great, and I just got a bright future. And I definitely got big plans going forward in the future as well. So stay tuned for that. I got a lot more in store. There are some big changes, which I'll be updating y'all more shortly, but I'm not going to waste too much of the time, updating y'all my life story and everything. But, just had to get myself together. But anyway, let's get on to the video, guys. Video topic of tonight. Guys, I got to talk about how to build a healthy and decent looking physique for this summer. And not just for this summer, but just like year round, how to be healthy and lean year round. I don't want to make another video about how to get a aesthetic physique. I want to make a video about how to get a healthy physique. Yeah, let me rephrase that. I want to make a video, how to get a decent looking physique, off rip, because I would say my physique is pretty decent. I've been in the gym since 2023. Actually, no, I'll tell you that. Let me think. Was it 2023? I think I started. Yeah. I think I started training in 2023. Yeah, it's been like 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go back and check my calendar. But about 2 years, been up in the gym, still going. Made a lot of mistakes, made a lot of progress, and changed up my diet. And now, like, I'm even considering possibly vegan, maybe. But that's something I have to dabble with, in my opinion, as of right now and still to this day. I personally believe that you need a full balanced diet with both meat, vegetables, and fruits, especially fruits, man. Like, I'm going to get to fruits in a bit, but, guys, like, I just don't want to make another how to get a aesthetic body physique because, guys, the reality for the average American, the average person out there, especially here in America, it takes time. If you're skinny, it's going to take time. If you're bigger, I have noticed with bigger people, they can drop weight pretty quickly and throw on muscle, actually surprisingly really quickly. But if you're a skinnier person, naturally lean like myself, it's going to take time for you to really build up that physique and build up that strength. Now, a bigger person, on the other hand, they might, not all the time, but I notice with a lot of big people, they can put on weight and drop weight very fast. It's not the same for, a very lean guy. It's not the same at all. But But anyway, like regardless, of where you stand in terms of your physicality, you need to understand that this stuff takes time. To build that type of physique is different for everybody, but it's gonna take time. You may not get it this summer, but I don't want you guys to watch this video thinking you're gonna get, this awesome physique or come close to even looking similar to me if you're like 300 pounds, 400 pounds, and all that. No, you got to go through the like you really do got to go through the progress with all this. This stuff really does take time. This isn't like something you do for a month, 2 months, and boom, you're like this. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that you can't, but it won't be healthy. You can eat salads every day. I admit I dropped a lot of weight like really really fast when I was just eating salads every day, but I just went back to skinny, like really skinny. I haven't been that skinny since I was a teenager. Went from 180 something my first year of training, in the gym, and I went down to really skinny to like 160 something or 150 something. Like haven't weighed that much since high school. but yeah, I went about it the wrong way. So you can drop the weight unhealthy, and you can definitely drop the weight, but just know you're gonna be very, very weak, very malnourished, and that's not a smart way of living. Another thing too, a lot of people really think that they have to go days without eating. Like, no, that's not what you want to do to your body. You got to eat. Do not starve your. Please, this is for all the bigger people out there. Do not starve yourself. Even if you're on the leaner side, because I know some people, kind of lean like me and be like, oh, I don't eat a couple days out the. I'm like, no, don't do that. There's nothing wrong with fasting. I do fasted workouts, so I don't work out. But let me rephrase that. I work out. I work out in the morning, but I don't eat anything on the days I work out. So like early in the morning, I work out, but I don't eat nothing. I may get a little drink of water, or a drink or something, and then I get into the workout, if needed. And that's usually how I do it. So that way I'm burning like all these excess calories that I had before, burning through all that. And then after I finish the workout, then I go eat my breakfast or whatever, or my lunch. Half the time I don't even really eat breakfast like that. I kind of just been eating 2 to 3 meals a day, but it meets my calorie mark. So, and also my protein and all that stuff intake, it meets all that, so I'm good. Now, moving on, guys, like I said before, this takes time. Everybody's body is different. So when it comes down to building a solid physique, you got to be very, very patient. Now, this is what I would recommend. If you're already in the gym and this is for the people who probably can achieve a more better physique in a few months, before the summer. And this is really for people who are already in the gym and you just want to get more defined and stuff like that. This is really who this is for. But also at the same time, if you're overweight, still utilize this information. Just know it's going to take you longer. You're 300 plus pounds. You're not going to magically drop all that weight super fast. Not healthy, at least, But I guarantee you, give it a good, year, 2 years, definitely 2 to 3 years, where you're going to see pretty big changes looking back. Shoulders, like chest, all that. Now, here's what you want to do. First thing you want to do, you need to look at your activity level. How active are you every day? Do you work a job that's where you're sitting down all day, not really moving? If so, you need to do a few things. Number one, get your steps in. If you're not going to get your steps in, make it up with doing a good amount of cardio at home. You can jump some rope, jog in place, jumping jacks. What else? Like look up forms of cardio, But if your activity level is high and you're in a warehouse like me and you're always on your feet, you're lifting stuff, you don't have to go crazy at all with cardio, if I'm being real with you, because you already do so much walking and you're already shredding a lot of body weight very often because you're walking for literally 8 hours straight throughout the day. So you don't have to do a whole lot. If anything, you would have to eat a lot more. that's where I'm at. I eat like 3,000 some calories, so and then plus I'm trying to get bigger too, so it makes sense for me. Like you put in a lot of work, you're going to be more hungrier. But I have noticed this: you give your body the right stuff as you stay active, your body will definitely appreciate it. And for me, because I'm so active, I really don't have to watch my calories as much unless I'm really, really like unless my body just feels really off for like a week or 2 weeks, then that's when I'm gonna start tracking my calories and see what's going on. Oh, I'm not meeting my protein intake, because I switched and I was eating like this for a few days. Oh, that's why, So that's really the only time I really check my calories now, mainly just for protein intake. But but it, for the most part, I'm not really tracking my calories like that, and I'm still able to get a solid physique. In my opinion, I think my physique is pretty decent. I wouldn't say outstanding, not yet, but it's gonna get there. Give it another year. Heck, even by the end of this year, at the rate I'm going, yeah, for sure. And now let's talk about exercises. We got the activity levels out the way. Outside of activity levels, exercises that you want to focus on: strength training, strength resistance training. Yeah, training. Now you're going to need to get yourself a resistant band and get yourself some dumbbells. That's really all you need right there. Get those two and maybe a jump rope. That's honestly all you need. And then go out for a walk. If you don't get much exercise at like at your job, go for walks. Go walk for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Like walking is so beneficial. Walk to places, you normally like you normally shop at, go walk over there. Highly recommend walking and just using your feet more. Do squats. Calisthenics, guys, mix in your body weight. When you mix in utilizing your body weight and you mix that in with a little bit of weightlifting, I personally don't I work out from home, but I just use dumbbells. I use dumbbells and I use my resistant band. I use my resistant band more so for mobility now than compared to the past, because when I first started, I was only using the resistant band, and yeah, I was definitely getting a lot more toned up, and my arms were getting more strong, like that. Like my arms were getting more stronger, more bigger, but it wasn't like outstanding, and my arms were still pretty small. Even though I still looked lean, I still looked like I had a decent physique. I ain't gonna lie, I have gotten kind of big too, from the resistant band, but it's a different type of strength when you're dealing with weights. And I highly recommend you utilize both of them. So utilize the resistant band mainly for your stretching. That's what helps me. Like I love using the resistant band for stretching and, really unlocking full mobility, and using the weights for, getting like that strength that you really need, so shoulder press, curls, that type of stuff is what you really want to focus on. So yeah, that's really all you need right there, so you can do this all from home. It's no excuses. Now let's move on to dieting. Dieting is the most important thing. I'll probably say, yeah, guys, literally up to this year. This is my, actually, no, oh wait, this is my third year? Let me see, 23. Yeah, I think this might be my third year of training. Yeah, it wasn't until this year when I had to really switch up my diet a bit, and it made such a big difference. I really got to get into fruits. Like, yes, I was eating fruits before, but I wasn't really eating them like that. I was mainly, this is what I was doing for my first year, because I made a lot of mistakes in my dieting. Like I said before, I was only eating salads for the first time, like when I first got started. Dropped a lot of weight, lost a lot of muscle consistently. And then I said, okay, cool. Let me throw in some chicken. Let me start really giving myself what I need. So I was eating chicken. Still wasn't tracking calories or nothing like that. Wasn't really aware of my protein status. And there were some days I felt okay. Other days I felt super weak. And it was just all over the place. And it was like that all the way up until, I would say, to literally early this year. or late last year. That was when I say, I gotta start eating more fruits, which I was eating fruits before, but just not often. I'll eat them a few times throughout the week, but really, fruits, guys, is so important. That's what you're gonna need to get all your energy from. Guys, when you're consuming fruit, like a lot of it, here's what I do too. You need to get a blender. Get yourself a blender. Get some strawberries, blueberries, bananas, dragon fruit. That's another good one. Cucumbers, a few vegetables too. Yeah, you got your cucumbers, and get some beets. And what's that other one? Spinach. Mix all that together. And on top of that, another thing I didn't start until this year was protein powder. It's not needed, but there's nothing wrong with a little extra protein. But when it comes down to protein powder, make sure it's plant-based protein. Here's why I say that. See, the problem I have with whey protein a lot of times, it's got a lot of unnecessary and garbage ingredients, even containing bioengineered ingredients. You don't want none of that garbage, in your whey protein. Now whey protein is not bad, but it's just the garbage that goes along with it makes it not all that great. So if you're going to go with whey protein, I would say try your best to make it from scratch yourself, because you can get the milk powder. That's honestly all it is, just like dried up, milk powder. That's pretty much what whey protein is. And, mixed with a few other, stuff that's very essential, with muscle growth. But yeah, try to make it yourself. But I go with plant-based protein because it's got pea protein, it's got so many different protein from plants, and it's all mixed into one. And I feel great too, like no bloating or nothing like that. And I feel like my body just digests so good. And it was that energy factor that made me love it more, which I was like, man, once I realized like I needed to eat more fruits and vegetables throughout my diet every week, that was when I felt the best ever. Honestly, I'm kind of considering vegan. I don't think I will do it full time, but I would probably eat a lot more fruits and vegetables throughout my diet. And recently I got on tofu tonight. Tofu is amazing, guys. Like, if y'all haven't tried tofu, I don't know why people hate it, but it tastes like ground beef to me once you cook it, in my opinion. Cook it right. You got to season it well, all that stuff. But, man, it's really good. And I ain't gonna lie, man, like that, it's cheap too, like $2 and something, for a big block of it, $3 or something like that. It's very, very cheap. You don't have to spend much at all, and there's so much you can do with it. It cooks pretty quickly, very similar to ground beef in terms of cooking. Just gotta know how to season it, the types of sauce to put on it. But man, it is amazing. And really, guys, like fruits is really that's going to give you the most energy. If you guys feel tired all the time, it really comes down to your blood flow, the stuff that you're putting into your body. So you need to get some spinach, get a lot of fruits. And that's really main thing. That's the main component that's going to keep you very functional, in my opinion. Because for me, like it dramatically helped me. Like whenever I'm working out, I feel so much better. I wake up better. I feel better. Like that's really all it was right there. It's just my dieting, So once you get that in check and a few supplements too, get some burdock root, that's really all you need, guys. Oh, and also creatine. Creatine, that's another thing. Creatine also felt really great too. Like that's another thing that helped me out with energy and muscle growth. It's going to hold a lot of water retention, which is very, very important, especially if you're on the leaner side and, pretty skinnier, naturally. Like it takes time for you to put on that muscle. Creatine is a must. I wish I would have jumped on it earlier. So get on some creatine. Like at first I thought it was going to cause bloating and all that stuff. No, creatine is very, very beneficial for you. There's really no negatives, don't believe all the garbage you heard about creatine. Very, very beneficial. And then in terms of fruit, going back to that, because I know a few people are going to be like, oh man, the carnivore diet and this and that. Like, listen, man, I was on the carnivore diet for a very long time. Not like crazy, but I'll eat mostly chicken. That was the main thing I was going for. Ate some steak too here and there. ate some seafood, catfish and stuff like that. But it was like, yeah, like it was good, but it's just like felt like I just have to eat so much of it to get full. And meats right now, it's not exactly very affordable, so having a well balanced diet is so important to me. And when you think about it, when you look back, look at Genesis, man. This is how powerful fruits are. Keep in mind, guys, like a fruit is so powerful. Y'all remember the tree of knowledge, right? A fruit gave Adam and Eve the power to like of all this different knowledge and stuff, gave them that. And they wasn't supposed to eat it. But that goes to show you how powerful a fruit can be. And I'm telling y'all, man, like some about them fruits and vegetables, but especially fruits, man, like dude, man, like you get so much energy from your fruits, like it. And then learning about how insulin and all that stuff works in your body, how certain foods digest. That's really another like another part that really helped me, drop weight and build muscle. That alone. But main thing, consistency. You got to stay at it, guys. You just got to keep going. But yeah, guys, this is all I want to say. Did not think I was going to ramble for 21 minutes, but hope you guys enjoyed. Missed you guys. Hope you guys made it all the way to the end of this video. Learned a little something. But yeah, guys, that's really all it is. Stay consistent. Look at your diet. Have a well-balanced diet. And I ain't going to lie, guys. Like I said, I'm not no vegan, but I'm kind of considering it. Once I tried tofu and it tastes like ground beef, I was like, man, this is really good, and it saves a lot of money too. So it definitely is an option now. I ain't gonna lie, but y'all take it easy, guys, and y'all have a good one.